Hi and welcome to this video. It's Michelle Dale from Virtual Miss Friday. Now initially this video was supposed to be a call recording for our last monthly call for Virtual Miss Friday, but unfortunately the day of the live call I did the presentation but had about 4 really nasty Zoom hackers on my call, which made for a very, very interrupted call. It's never happened to me before. I'm taking this as something I needed to learn and experience. It was quite traumatic, but I decided that rather than use the replay of the rather disastrous call, I would make a quick video for you to share with you the information that I promised you I would share regarding pricing your services. So I'm just going to walk you through the tips for optimizing your packages. So in 2023, you can move forward, you can make adjustments, you can make changes, or you can just start from scratch. But incorporate what I'm going to share with you, incorporate these tips, because these are things that I've learned over what feels like a lifetime, but it's been the last 17 years doing this kind of work and selling my services online. And these are all things that I consider really super valuable when you are selling basically services online. So whether you're a virtual assistant, freelancer, online business manager, one source, or whatever you want to call yourself, it's really important, I think, to incorporate these things. So today we're going to talk about mindset. Around pricing, we're going to be talking about flexibility, time, understanding, responses, and then finally, I'm going to share with you the elephant in the room. Now, I want to keep this brief and really on point to really help you kind of get some decent takeaways from this. Obviously, these are huge topics. The topic of pricing, I could literally talk about all day, which is why I have created a one-day workshop. So it's going to be live on the 4th of January 2023, but there's going to be recordings, so you'll be able to take this information away and use it over and over again. But we'll talk about that at the end. For now, I want to go through these 6 points with you relating to packaging and pricing. Now, the first one is mindset. So being clear about what your services are worth and really sticking to it and believing it. No one's going to value you unless you value yourself first. Okay, this is really, really important. You have to look at your services, look at what you offer, look at yourself, look at the price you charge, and 100% see the value in what you're offering. Now, if you're nervous about your prices, then I guarantee you potential clients will be nervous about it too, whether they've got the money or not. Because anything that you feel about you, you're going to give off energetically. So that's really important. The second thing is, if you're nervous about your prices, it's just kind of like going to be one of those things that you shouldn't be. You know, like you shouldn't be nervous about your prices. It shouldn't affect you that way. If you're feeling it's too expensive, then for sure the clients will feel that way too, because you're projecting I'm too expensive with your energy, with your thoughts, with your feelings. You know, it all comes down to, you know, no one can truly love you unless you love yourself first, or how would you expect anyone else to love you unless you love yourself? And it works the same way with pricing. It works the same way if you're feeling too expensive. Any thoughts and feelings surrounding your prices will manifest, basically. So however you think and feel about your pricing and your packages will become a reality. And basically, some VAs will choose to go cheaper if they're feeling that way, and others will choose to get better if they're feeling that way. So ask yourself, which one are you? Are you the VA that sits there and starts to feel icky about your rates and then starts to think about reducing them? Or are you the VA that sits there and starts to feel icky about your rates and starts to think, well, how am I going to add more value to this? How am I going to make myself better so I feel better about my rates? Who you decide to be is entirely up to you. But there are two mindsets in this world, particularly when you're a business owner or entrepreneur. There's the lack mindset and there is the abundance mindset. And I can tell you now, if you are choosing to go cheaper than you feel comfortable with, or than you would truly want, or is most ideal for you, then you are in the lack mindset. If you are choosing to get better, to look at ways to add more value, to look at ways to improve your mindset around your rates, then you have the abundance mindset. The next is flexibility. So entrepreneurship is about hustle and negotiation when you're the boss, so you can decide what's acceptable or not to you. I would suggest don't be too rigid, rather be a little bit smart. Now, what I mean by rigid is, let's say, for example, you set a price and you set a rate and you basically say to yourself, I am not budging. This is what I'm going to get for this package. It's a little bit of an employee mentality, this mentality. I absolutely believe that people should stick to their value and stick to what they're worth. But an employee mentality is, I'm going to get this amount of money and that's what I'm going to be paid, and I'm going to take that every month. And, you know, with an employment, unless you're in commission-based sales or something like that, you rarely get to be flexible with your income in terms of have leverage and be able to maneuver around and make more money. Now, if you want to be able to make more money with your pricing and packaging, you may have to be a little bit flexible. So what do I mean by this? Well, you can start off by using a lower rate as leverage for a higher one. Clients will often pose objections or share their objections, such as, well, I don't know you, I've never worked with you, I don't know the quality of your work, how do I trust you? A lot of them have had VAs before and been seriously badly burnt. They don't want that to happen to them again. And it doesn't matter who you are and how wonderful you appear to be, that experience will carry with them through everything. So they don't want to invest too much up front and, you know, basically have the same problems and issues that they've experienced before. So this is when you can potentially use a lower rate or lower your rate as leverage for a higher one later down the line. So what do I mean by this? Well, you can suggest to make an incremental increase plan. So let's say, for example, they're having issues with trust, they're not sure about you, they want to go ahead, but you know, like they're feeling like they're doubting it. Then you might say, okay, well, look at this. If we start at this rate, and then I work with you for a month, and then I work with you for 2 months, and on the third month we increase it, providing you're happy with everything and I've fulfilled everything and I've given you exactly what we've discussed, exactly what I've promised, then we move on to the higher rate. This is one way of going about it, and then that obviously for the long term will get you where you need to be rather than losing the client on the offset. You can also try a performance-based increase. So there are two types of tasks, or two types of, I guess, results that you're going to get for the client. It's task driven or results driven. So payment or increase in payment can either be task driven. So let's say, for example, you provide certain services, provide certain volumes, get certain things done, complete certain projects. That would be task driven performance. And then results driven performance is, for example, number of subscribers achieved, number, volume of engagement or percentage of engagement. If you're in SEO, it might be a percentage of traffic. It could be number of clicks, whatever it is. Could be number of followers, subscribers, something like that. That's a results driven price. So you can say, okay, we can come in at this price and I'll take this, but if I do X, Y, and Z, then we go on to this rate, or we go on up to this upgrade, or we go on to this supplement or something like that. So you get more money that way. So flexibility is basically not just about you reducing your rate for the client or to be able to do more work with less money, but it's about how you can encourage the relationship to progress forward and get to where you want to be financially by being flexible. And remember, there is no controlled price for any VA service out there or any online business service. We are not a regulated body where we have a minimum wage, or, you know, like we have you know, someone controls the rates and says, okay, well, this is what you get for inbox management. Absolutely not. The most important thing is that you feel happy with your rates, that you feel happy with the price, and again, you feel that you can be a little bit flexible in order for longer term gains. Next is time. So move away from anything that's quantifiable, because clients will compare you to other quantifiable things. So let me explain this. For example, if you sell inbox management services by the hour and you charge an hourly rate, it doesn't matter how amazing your inbox services are. Clients will shop around and look at the cost of other inbox services per hour, because that's how you charge, and many may assume you're the expensive one, not the better one, if your price is higher, because they will consider it the same task. But remember, we are talking about results here. So no inbox management service is built the same. Some people might have a task-driven inbox management service. Other people might have a performance-based inbox management service. So, for example, the task-based inbox management service might just be responding to inquiries, answering questions, and leave it at that. You know, that's it. That's what you get. Whereas a performance-based inbox management service might incorporate calls to action at the end of the emails. So you answer the question and then you provide a call to action which directs them to subscribe for something or make a purchase. You know, it's a thinking kind of game when you get into performance-based inbox management, and that can achieve long-term gains, more long-term gains for the client. So obviously it's valuable to the client if that's the case, and the client should be paying more for that service because basically they are getting something way better. So use time as your leverage. If a client needs something done quicker, request a rapid supplement and make a guarantee about that. Okay, this will be X amount of money on top of the package, but I guarantee it'll be done by so-and-so, X date or whatever, or tomorrow, or 48 hours, or 72 hours, or end of next month, whatever it is. It's not always the price that the client cares about. The client cares about so much more. You know, reliability is a big one for clients. Doing things on time, having things ready, doing what you say you're going to do. You know, clients are more than happy to pay when you've made them promises and then you deliver on those promises and they get what they want and then some. The only thing I would suggest to you is really do not put anything in quantifiable terms. So time exchange for money. Approach it in a different way and you will have a better outcome in terms of your financial profitability of your business. Then we have understanding. So you have to be able to explain why your packages and prices are the way they are. However, this isn't about explaining that you're better than anyone else or you're comparing yourself to others. I never get into conversations when someone comes to me and says, oh, well, you know, this VA does this and this, or this VA charges that, or this VA, you know, I never get into those conversations. What I do always do is try and compete with myself. You know, if somebody comes and says to me about what other people are doing, I say I can't comment on those other people because, you know, I don't know the level of their experience. I don't know their personal situation or circumstances. I don't know the types of clients that they work with. You cannot compare it. You know, it's very difficult. So showing the value in your service is what really matters. So what I tend to do is say, okay, well, what I can do is share with you what I can do. So how well thought out my service is, how timely I respond, how mistakes are at a bare minimum, how things are generally handled. Help the client to understand they're paying for all of the things that they probably won't find when they acquire with other VAs, because within one sourcing in particular, we spend a lot of time looking at how to add value to a package which goes beyond the hourly rate. So you have to provide an outstanding package that goes beyond the service, a bit like the accessories on an outfit or the trimmings on a dinner. You know, like when you get a dinner and you're surprised by how beautiful it looks, or the extra things that come with it that you weren't expecting, Or, you know, if you have an outfit and then the outfit looks plain, but then you add all the accessories onto the outfit and then suddenly it's transformed. That's what you need to think about when you're putting your package together. And you need to be able to communicate the understanding of that. So you can basically say to your client, these are the benefits, the perks, the value of my package. You are welcome to go away, shop around, talk to other virtual assistants, ask questions, and then if you don't find anything as outstanding as what I have to offer you, then I welcome you to come back and we can explore this further. You do not have to get into comparison conversations. The next thing is responses. So there are very common questions most clients will ask, or they will at least ask some of these questions. And you need to be ready and confident with the responses to those questions. So the client can immediately see you're making perfect sense. They may even feel silly for asking at the end of it. This provides clarity, authority, reassurance, and it also builds trust. So let me give you an example of this. So if you're selling a package rather than hours, a client may ask, how many hours do I get? Okay, and this happens all the time. When I sell a package, I never talk about hourly rate, I never talk about hours, I never talk about time. But because they have been conditioned to believe that all VAs charge hourly rates, they will ask me, okay, so how many hours is that? So you have to be ready and prepared if you do not charge an hourly rate to immediately respond with a very suitable answer about how the package is not based on hours. So a client may ask, how many hours do I get? And you need to be ready with a perfect response to eliminate the client's perception that the package is hours, or any other quantifiable thing that you can think of. So you do not communicate quantifiable things. You only communicate the reasoning to progress forward and help the client to understand about how you package your pricing, and be ready with the responses to their questions. So they're left feeling like, okay, I understand now, and this makes perfect sense. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is invariably return on investment. Now, this pretty much comes up a lot with virtual assistants. The client may be going along, paying their rates and things like that, and wondering what the return on investment is. Now, the return on investment needs to be communicated upfront because the client will make a million assumptions. Okay, this is really super important. If you do nothing else, cover your own back and really communicate the return on investment, because the client will have already in their head assumptions of what they're paying for beyond the task. So the return on investment needs to be communicated up front, so the client isn't under any assumptions that they will be seeing things that they will not be seeing. This includes measurables with your package that are clear, so the client doesn't say he didn't get A when the measurable or deliverable is B. And also include timeframes in there too, for when those measurables will begin to occur and at what scale. So this is just a personal story I'd like to share with you. So I worked with a client, I still work with a client, and we agreed on the milestones of the work. We agreed on what was going to be done. But his version of the outcome was very different to mine, because I was working on a lot of personal experience with what had been done or what we were doing. And he was basically reading articles and blog posts about what to expect when you do X, Y, and Z, which was in no way anywhere close to the reality of what you can actually expect. It was a lot of hype. It's a lot of internet marketers trying to sell products and tools and information or coaching and things like that. So they make a lot of they glam it up a little bit. Some people, oh, if you do this, this, and this, then this is going to be the outcome. So then the client goes and finds a virtual assistant or some other freelancer who can help them achieve this and this and this, X, Y, and Z, or whatever. And then when the outcome isn't the same as the one promised by the alternative person that they were reading from or listening to, then they feel that the VA has done something wrong, Oh my gosh, how far could we be from that? You know, when the VA has done everything requested of them, when the VA has put their heart and soul into the work, delivered everything, and they're on one end thinking, wow, the client's going to be so impressed. And then the client comes and says, well, I was expecting this and this to happen and it hasn't. So basically, everything you've done is a waste of money. Oh my gosh, it's horrible, but it happens all of the time. So when you communicate the measurable and the deliverables, then you will avoid this issue. Now, how do you do that? So the equation is A plus T equals M. Activity, so the task, whatever it is you're doing, or the project, the service, plus time frame, so how long it's going to take or how frequent it is, will equal the measurable, which you will tell the client. The client will not make an assumption. The client will not, you know, be able to come and say, oh, well, it was supposed to be this and it wasn't. No, you tell them what the measurable is. You tell them what the deliverable is, and you give them the time frame for it as well. So this will really help you to move forward in a very positive way to ensure that you have managed the client's expectations. So this is what this equation is all about. It's about managing expectations. So for example, let's say you're a web developer or you build websites. So the activity is the website build to the point of completion. This is the one thing. Then we talk about the time frame. So adding on the time frame, let's say it will take you 3 months to build the website from the date it was started. Again, it might be more or less. It depends what you do and who you're doing it for and everything. But these are just examples. These are your calculations that you need to make. What am I going to do? How long is it going to take? Then the measurable will be a live website online ready to capture leads and grow your subscriber base, ready to generate sales when the lead arrives on the site. So the client does not make an assumption, and many clients do, that you will build a website and you'll put a subscribe box on it and suddenly their business is going to blow up overnight because of all the subscribers that are going to come. Now, a lot of people make the assumption that once the website is online and the subscriber box is there, if nothing happens, it's the fault of the person that built the website, rather than not fully understanding and the fault being with the measurable of that. So it's really important to put this in place. You know, if a client is building this website to get in loads of subscribers and make loads of sales, for example, you do not want them to come and blame you because you're the one that built the website and put the subscriber box on it. You always have to communicate the potential of what you're doing and the work that you're doing. Again, as a second example, inbox management. So the inbox management is the activity, and the time frame might be something like daily, Monday to Friday, 2 inbox checks per day. Okay, then we have the results, which is a clean inbox daily, happier customers, more efficient and effective communications, which can lead to more conversions and word of mouth referrals. We do not want the client assuming because you're the one responding to the inquiries or the emails coming in that you're the one that's going to be responsible also for the sales and the upselling and the performance-based work if that's not what you do. So again, whatever your measurable is, then make sure you communicate it clearly to the client to manage the expectations on both sides. So I really hope that you found all these tips helpful. And like I say, I can talk for ages about this subject. And I would suggest, if you are interested in learning more about how to package and price your services, that you join my packaging and pricing workshop. So whether you're a new or seasoned virtual assistant, you may be wondering about the best way to price your services or adjust the price of your services. A lot of people want to move away from charging hourly rates and retainers, move more into packages, make things easier for themselves. So things which were key in the creation of my current pricing model I'm going to share with you are not charging by the hour, so basically not making any of my services quantifiable, making the business as profitable as it possibly could be, transparency of having a fixed budget or a fixed price for clients, stopping clients from making comparisons to me and other VAs, and total freedom to work around my personal schedule and choices, not be dictated to when I'm going to be available, when I'm going to have things done by, that type of thing. And it's also to respect boundaries in business relationships. So if you've got a package that delivers all of this and more, then you're pretty much set on the path to success in your service business. And if you want to join me for this workshop live, it's on the 4th of January 2023. You can go to www.virtualmissfriday.com/ppw. That's www.virtualmissfriday.com/ppw. You'll get full replays of all the sessions that will be available afterwards, and you'll have ongoing access to this workshop, so you can come back time and time again, refresh, reapply, and really take care of your business when it comes to the financial aspects of it. So thank you very much for listening. I really, really hope you enjoyed this presentation. Again, these are just quick tips that I have for you. I would love to be able to dive into this topic a lot more, break it down, rework it, shake it up, and really give you some things that you're going to be able to take away and create the most profitable business you could ever imagine as a service provider. So I look forward to seeing you on the workshop.